this isn't the story of the end. This is what came after.
Dun,
Hello
dun, dun.
everyone, my name is Prince of Cincinnati, and this is the first introductory video to the After the End, Scholars of the End YouTube channel. The purpose of this channel is to explore the lore and history of the After the End universe, which is a post-apocalyptic America that has reverted back to medieval times without gunfight, without weapon, firearms, automation. You know, it's like full King Arthur feudalism type stuff. I'm here with my host John Darien and Mr. Moore. Thank you for the intro there, Mr. Moore. John
You're
Darien, do you
welcome.
want to introduce yourself and
Hi,
tell us a
I'm
little
here
bit about the
too.
mod?
After the End is a Crusader Kings 2 mod that, in my opinion, is actually better than the base game. But it's expanded a lot into people have created a bunch of the devs and the people, the fans have created a bunch of lore for this world, and it's our job to put it into a collection. Of course, this is not this like I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
not.
in no way official. This is just 3 or 4 random guys who love the mod and the story and lore that people write, and trying to give it and trying to put it into justice in a video setting. Because Kaiserreich kind of did this sort of thing, and why can't we?
And speaking of 4, we should also mention our co-host who hasn't
Yeah, he's at
Bastard.
work right now. He may come in a little bit later.
Avatar Sean.
We waited
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
long for him just to say that. Oh, I'll just be there in an hour. It's been more than an hour.
Yeah, so Avatar will show up eventually, if not in this video, then in future videos. But yeah, he's the 4th guy working on this project, and later on we might have devs such as Red Heat or Lord Smiley come on, specific writers who have contributed a lot of lore, come on and talk about different aspects of the After the End universe. Kind of like John Darien said, Crusader Kings is based off of like medieval Europe, starting in the Dark Ages, going all the way up to the Renaissance. And there's a lot of established history and culture and just a lot of information that's already there. Is like basically, okay, what if you take that and you apply it to North America, parts of South America, and Central America?
You get Uber Chads.
Yeah, you get a whole bunch of different things, but there's no history to it because it's a fantasy world. So what happens is that about a 2,000 strong fan base has sprung up in places like Discord and Reddit, that go around, shoot the shit, and like write lore and history for this.
Hopefully you've heard of those. Hopefully you've heard, like, unless you're like some old man who's listening in.
Yeah,
Kiddies,
yeah,
what
like if
is
you're
this
listening
After
to
the
this, now
End?
you
What's this MySpace? I hear that there's no place like MySpace.
What is this MySpace? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
May use it.
No, if you're listening to this, you're probably from the Reddit or the Discord. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
But,
As you can tell, we're incredibly professional. We know what we're doing here.
Yes, we are very
we should say
professional.
that
Very professional
over time,
gamers.
it's gone from just being mod. It's very the mod is still the central part. It's very much a collaborative fiction
It really
universe.
is, yeah.
Like the SCP Foundation.
A little bit. If you have ever heard of SCP, where it started off as a game and then people just kept on writing their
It didn't
own
start
bits
off
and
as a game.
pieces. It didn't start off as a game?
No,
No,
it started
no,
off as a piece of fiction.
But
Yeah.
that's a conversation for another time.
And the game got spawned out of that.
Yeah, and then everybody was like, "Whoa, this is really cool. We should all pay attention to this."
Okay, yeah. All right. So it's kind of the reverse of that. This did just start off as a mod.
Know your facts, or else I'm gonna beat you over the head with a bat.
Listen, I'm already going to get my head torn off for getting SCP shit wrong, so...
Yeah, because I'm gonna do
All
it.
right. All right, so yeah, it kind of happened the opposite way of where it's like a person goes to play a campaign in California. It's like, oh, there's an emperor of California who can't do anything and is a figurehead emperor. Why is that? And then they start exploring the history, and then they start taking inspiration from real world history and start writing chronicles about it. Like this one guy, Gilderhorn, he's written like chronicles about each of the celestial emperors of California and how
Bless
they've
his
either
soul.
done really well or done really bad.
Bless his
So-
soul.
Bless his soul. Yeah, Gilderhorn's stuff is great. Hell, Mulata Marinese is that great. Hell, everyone's stuff is great. Anyone who writes anything.
Our very
Yeah,
own Prince of
Awesome.
except for
our
me.
very own
One
Prince of
time I wrote
Cincinnati.
about Bermuda, and it
Oh,
was
was
very
that you
short.
who wrote about Bermuda?
Uh-huh.
And there was a very enlightening 12-page report on the development of Bermuda shorts after the apocalypse. I did not know the
No,
difference in like, finger length. It was amazing.
no, no. Here's the problem. Everyone's stuff is worthwhile contributing, except for me, who decides to choose the most obscure parts of the American continent and write about the most obscure aspects about those obscure parts.
Yeah, he doesn't write stuff like the Chad Yoopers.
Yeah, he was writing stuff
Yeah.
about Chicago, and nobody's ever heard of Chicago. It's like this little town in Indiana, I think.
There's
Well,
some
we're
like
talking
Adam people over there. I don't know what they're
Ahaya.
doing.
So yeah, oh god, I guess we've kind of rambled on here.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this introductory video was the fact that, okay, so this is a YouTube channel that's going to be dedicated to like in-universe explanations of things that are happening in the after the end.
I hope it's professional and not this.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
Yeah,
this
this is obviously much more casual, kind of shooting the shit, just kind of going back and forth
yeah.
to explain people what this is going to be.
Imagine. I hope someday it turns into like a Kaiserreich thing, but you never know.
Yeah, if you've ever watched those Kaiserreich videos, which is another alternative history mod for another Paradox game called Hearts of Iron 4.
We should probably explain what Paradox is in case these people don't know.
Yeah, Paradox is a grand strategy game.
Grand strategy game is. Have you ever played Civilization? Yes. Now you can play it in real time. Yes, have fun with that.
Yeah,
Paradox is a game development studio. They have
From
a
Sweden.
That's all
series
you
of
need to
games
know about them.
based on the Clausewitz engine, of which CK2 is one.
Exactly. Their big titles are Crusader Kings 2, Hearts of Iron 4.
We don't need to know this. I was just saying that we should probably give them a brief description in a whole entire paragraph.
Well, shit. You're talking to me.
True.
My version of a
Oh, dear.
brief description is 3 pages. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stupid.
Well, anyhow, so yeah. Where were we?
We'll be presenting in-universe explanations, and because of this, you should be expecting varying levels of accuracy and varying levels of bias from the in-universe authors as well.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So, if I decide to write a script as a Californian scholar or guru, based upon the Gaians and Earth worshippers of Portland, Oregon, you're going to get a different point of view than a Native American from the Northlands that also interacts with the Portlandians, but probably doesn't have the same relationship.
It's like I hope they burn their own blood. I hope they boil. I hope their whole entire civilization burns down.
There will be
much more, peaceful and brotherly, and other would be much more violent and aggressive.
Arizona.
Yeah,
And
Arizona, California is probably going to be a bit more aggressive because of California's imperialistic actions.
Oh
it's
yeah.
going to be that sort of thing.
There will be some sources that try to be more objective, those who are devoted to their scholarliness, but even they have
bias.
their own biases, and they oftentimes write for people who may not like the truth to be presented in certain unfashionable ways.
Right.
Frickin'
The
New
reason that we
Yorkers.
call like the reason that we called it the Scholars of the End is that our original idea is that we were going to be speaking primarily as members of the Ivy League, which is kind of like a secret society of knowledge gatherers. What's the one from Fallout that does this sort of thing?
I don't care.
The shot.
I don't care, but I know
Shycats?
Caesar was part of it.
No. That's like the Roman-esque
Oh wait,
faction.
the
I'm
followers of
talking about like
Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like the scientist
Yeah.
ones who like try to collect information.
Caesar was
after-
part of
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah, that's the
Oh yeah,
followers
he
of the
was part of it.
apocalypse.
He started off as it before he
Yeah,
triggered his own faction.
yeah, he was a Mormon.
No, that was
Yeah.
Joshua Grant.
Was it?
I
No,
survived because the fire inside me burned hotter than the fire around me. Don't you forget that.
So yeah,
I'm
basically, it's going to be that the Ivy League is that sort of secret organization that goes around and tries to collect information, old American texts, and just try to figure out what happened and preserve information and science as it comes along.
And they're like,
Because
what are these big statues? Like what is this big lady that holds a torch?
exactly, and instead of worshiping it as a goddess, is trying to figure out who put it there and why it is there.
And
But
one of
it is.
the
because at
It was
this
made by
point,
the gods, though.
one of the
well, yeah,
most
because
sorry. One of the most important sort of elements of their scholarliness is in the name. After the end, nobody's really sure what the end was.
It
yeah,
may have
you
been a
talked about
plague. May have been disintegration of technology. May have been um, anarcho primitives, which is my favorite theory.
yeah, nobody knows what caused the apocalypse that destroyed America. I should clarify that this is a mod about the North American, Central American, and South American continents. Well, some of South America.
Yeah,
That it's not during the apocalypse. You know, it's not like the movie Postman or
like
or
like some
Fallout.
zombie thing. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, it's not immediately during or after the. It's not immediately during or after the apocalypse. It
Because
is
that's already a
hundreds of years.
thing.
That's
The
already a thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
What this
The
is,
game
it's a post-apocalypse mod.
Yeah,
It
the
is
gameplay
a
of
story of what happened when everything was really, really broken down. Like all
and
the
the
technology was lost, all the things are gone,
All the fun things are gone.
all the
Like
fun
my
things are
car.
gone.
How can I go around now? I have
the
to
internet's
walk.
the internet's
Gee.
still around, but they just have to use like clamshells and rocks to do it. It's not as
Exactly, yeah. No,
Uh,
internet's not around.
oh, I bet a lot of people died because of that.
That's going to be one of the big famines right there.
The internet
Um,
famine. Everybody just kills each other because there's no more internet.
But of course, not only is
the kids
what
can't
the end was is
can't play Apex
unknown, when the end was is unknown.
That's my new
For
favorite
some
theory.
time.
That the fall of the internet caused the end.
Yeah, that's actually a theory that I've heard pretty often. That it was the electrical grid like permanently tripping, and all the electronics went away, and that's what caused it. Which kind of makes sense. We might make a video in the future about like theorizing what it could have been.
Elon Musk cries in pain.
Yeah, I mean, but technically, for the purpose of the mod, it could have been anything.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that it did happen, and that there's like next to no technology around anymore. For example, handguns are treated like sacred artifacts or heirlooms. They're like treated as the top of technology.
Not really.
Old
There's
Americans, like old Americans, like American civilization is treated like
like
better than
Romans.
Rome.
Yeah.
Almost like semi-divine.
Like they were seen as like gods. Like the gods ruled over America. Like Washington and Abraham Lincoln ruled over America.
That's specifically the American. I'm more talking about like every single person on the American continent, like, sees old Americans like the Romans, but better than the Romans, because, like, even the Romans was like, oh, you had to get up, you had to farm in the morning, and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
No, we just
They
forced
were-
foreigners to do that.
They were the height of sort of human civilization, and now
Yeah, like
people are
there are these
back
mythical
down.
there are these mythical tales of horseless chariot, and food ordered on demand, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and a stupid story about a dude walking on the moon because his arms were so strong, but nobody really believes that.
Yeah,
What do strong arms even have to do with moons? Nobody explained it.
if his
He
arms
threw
were that
himself.
strong, babe.
To give you an idea of the timeline, the game takes place in the starting is 2666, and if you're thinking that's oh, somebody there's a little weird on the side, that's I think it's supposed to be more of a reference to 1776 if I'm right, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that might kind of be a reference to the new Pope in New Rome.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Catholicism saved itself from Europe, which presumably is in chaos right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
we
a
should.
Pope in New Rome. Something about heresy. Yeah, it is kind of convenient that like it's 2,666,
Yeah.
but we kind of ignore that.
Yeah.
All that matters
Uh,
is that the Pope exists, but he's really not the Pope. The Pope may or may not be in Europe. Who knows?
Yeah, and America, the Americas above the equator are very isolated. They don't have much really knowledge of what's going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
With the
no.
exception of California.
That's true.
California is my home, baby. Wait,
Yeah.
no, we can't sing.
So like yeah, when the fall triggered, basically all of America fell into batshit insane chaos, except for California, which kind of remained stable and like has always been more or less stable. Like there were warring states periods before the first Celestial Emperor.
When the Mormons take over California.
Listen, that's something that happens in game.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Mormons are still around. The Mormons are
Yeah.
still posted
sadly
up.
enough.
We should I suppose we should talk the general overview of what exactly America looks like after the end, and the Central America and South America.
Right.
But when you look at the American continent, it is a very divided, feudal nation. People may have some sort of idea that they used to be one people, but that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, the idea of America is treated almost as like a mythical concept of like, how could one country rule over all these different kingdoms? Because when you look at a map of After the End, we're going to have one up here as I'm speaking.
Are we? Do I have to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you're able to do it. I mean, you do you, fam. But yeah, it'd be cool for like a visual or something. I mean, wouldn't that just be clipping wouldn't that just be clipping like a picture of what's called like the map?
Yeah.
And like thing into the video?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have stuck that on you. That was just more of an idea.
Yeah,
like,
it's
show
fine.
people what this actually is. Oh, maybe we'll have that in the background like permanently.
You turned it off? Why?
Oh well. So,
Now,
All right, sorry. To get back on track.
yeah, get back on track.
So yeah, the idea of like a united America is treated as an almost mythical idea. Mexico has kind of been reduced to the area around Mexico City, going out to Veracruz.
Reconquista. Reconquista. Reconquista.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do have like some semblance of the old Mexican state still kicking around.
And they get pretty thick.
They can get pretty thick, yeah, with 3 C's.
Jesus Christ, Mexico, please spare us.
Please spare us. Oh God, oh stop.
Arizona,
Um,
Arizona, please.
welcome back to the fold.
Arizona just like Mexico just conquered. Mexico is the rightful owner of old America.
I mean, then again, who's gonna stop them, right?
Yeah, nothing
How about
stops
you,
in
Thomas?
Mexico.
Yeah.
And in place of sort of a united American identity, and United Mexican, United Venezuelan, many others, people have sort of filled in the gaps with other local cultures and with sort of half-remembered ideas of the way things used to be
Except
before
for
Yeah.
Texans.
fought.
To
You
take
have groups like
sorry.
right. You have groups like the Atomists who worship Father Adam and the Americanists who literally worship the founding fathers.
Praise be Jefferson.
There you go.
Yeah.
You have rest cultists who worship machines,
Praise
and
be Father
even
Ford.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about like you mentioned.
Aldous Huxley.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention you talked about how the culture kind of filled in the gaps. A great example of that is the American Midwest. So, for example, rather than seeing themselves as just American, you have the German populations being the Rossman, the Irish populations being the Lacustrine.
Is it? Oh, I didn't even know that. Now I need to. I'm gonna play a game with them now.
Yeah, yeah, like it's like the best way to describe it. Like I looked up the statistics on rural Michigan. It's mainly German and Irish, but it has a heavier Irish population in North Michigan than the rest, which is mainly just German. So I assume that they have a higher Irish influence than the Rossman cultures to the south.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the Irish in North Michigan. In Chicago, you have a combination of like Polish, Lithuanian, Irish, Italian, all the different ethnic groups that kind of piled into Chicago over the years. So it's a very distinct culture. And then in places like Detroit,
They
Gary,
probably spoke and like speak some broken language of all of them, like mixed in this one
yeah,
pod.
That's just regular Chicago you're thinking of.
yeah, exactly. Not much has changed in Chicago.
Still
And
a
in places
hellhole.
like Detroit, Cleveland, and Gary, Indiana, which all have majority African American populations, they converted to the Motowner culture, which is an Afrocentric culture that is kind of isolated from the rest of these.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the fall of the American country, it's like this all across the United States, different cultures, different subgroups, based on region, ethnicity, all that sort of
It's a
And
fun time in
another,
America.
yeah.
except for the disease and warfare and death and
And the
disenfranchisement.
Texans.
There you go. And
Yeah.
another important part of the end, after the end, is the resurgence of many native groups in the Americas. In America itself, you have the Sioux up north and into
Oh,
We even
parts
have
of
like
the
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 Iroquois.
Great
Comanche.
Plains. Oh yeah, you have the Comanche who've carved out a pretty big realm, taken a lot of Oklahoma and Texas. You have
Iroquois.
Iroquois,
E.
Navajo, Hopi.
Um, there the I believe the most solidified population of Native Americans is actually up in Canada, like around Vancouver, above
That's true.
yeah, above Portland, Oregon, and I can't remember the name for the life of me, and I'm not going to try to
Well,
pronounce it.
there's Salesian and Haida there.
Haida, that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mispronounce it because I would probably butcher it.
Haida.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting it a bit wrong too.
It's Haida. Who
Oh,
cares?
If there's any
well,
Haida people, please forgive me. I'll try to do you justice.
There
yeah.
probably aren't.
Tell us how to say things right.
Haiti.
Yeah.
Um.
Uh, and
All right. So yeah.
you also have besides just people's like ancestry, like the Ufers we're talking about and the natives. You also have later
chats.
groups that, yeah, you have groups that developed out of like sort of just modern interstate groups. Like you have the Grangelanders, who are like general plains culture. You have Beltway, which is sort of like the culture of the Washington D.C. area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the Gotham. Chicago
Oh
and
yeah, you have
Gotham
Gothamites.
is
Levi.
full of kind of hybrid cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not anything specific. They're kind of
Why?
inspired by the cities themselves. Uh, so yeah, that is one big thing of after the end. You had a massive resurgence in Native American population because the reservation systems broke down, and they were able to return to nomadic.
And then they just fricked everybody up.
Oh,
You cut it out there, huge.
dominant all across like the Western United
You
States.
cut it out there, buddy. Like
Of
hugely.
course, it's probably more fair to say traditional lifestyles, because many of them weren't necessarily nomadic.
Yeah.
Um,
Iroquois.
Right.
such as, yeah, there you go, Iroquois.
Yeah, there are a couple
Muskogeans.
pockets of Iroquois, Algonquin.
Why am I focusing on the Iroquois? The Iroquois aren't very like special, are
Yeah,
they?
there's a couple of pockets of them in like upper state New York and like South Canada. That's about it.
Ye-
But
Mm.
regardless, anyhow, yeah. So there's been a resurgence of Native American population.
Yeah.
And then there's certain culture groups. I mean, obviously, we haven't explored all the cultures. Then there's
Eric,
certain
so-
culture groups. Then we have absolutely zero idea like how large they are, how diverse and mixed they are. California, for example, with all its interaction with the Hawaiian Islands and the wider Pacific, probably has something that is completely unrecognizable to California today.
Mhm.
Isn't lore that there's a bunch of Hawaiians in California?
Yeah,
Or-
because
Yeah,
they have because Gilderhorn wrote that they have a very close relationship with the Kingdom of Hawaii.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was.
that actually
I was
actually
thinking.
goes back to a reference to the founder of Sacramento, a dude named Stutter, who brought a bunch of Hawaiian laborers with him to Sacramento.
I didn't know that.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool.
I-
That makes a lot of sense.
I was thinking that either the Hawaii is just really chill with California and just sends some troops.
Yeah, I mean, I know the
Here's some
Celestial Emperor
soldiers
of
get off on bats.
I know the Celestial Emperor of California kind of uses
I murdered the whole
the
entire
Hawaiian Guard as like
population.
a Praetorian Guard or Varangian Guard.
Yeah, probably more like Varangian.
I murdered the
Yeah.
whole entire population of
Praetorian.
Hawaiians of California. I'm sorry, Hawaiians. I had
Well,
to.
that's
The
the
Mormons were
latest
invading.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, granted, we say some stuff. This is CK2. It sometimes encourages you to think like a medieval ruler, which is not the
Yeah.
most ethical way to
Yeah.
live your life.
If you're new to CK2, one of the first rules you learn is the
Don't trust anybody.
Is the virtues of killing your brothers in specific.
Don't trust anybody. Why
Yeah,
is
don't
my
trust anybody.
Why is my sister's husband trying to kill me?
Because he wants your land. Sweet Irish
right.
land.
My sweet Texan land. You could never have it.
Not sure it's that sweet. It's just a bunch of dirt and shit. It's Texas.
How dare you, you piece of shit.
I think cobwebs and dirt. Oh well, I'm not going to go there.
Ohio ain't that much better, but hey. Well, now. Okay, so we've kind of ranted here for a little bit.
Yeah.
What was it that we originally wanted to do with this?
Kaiserreich like videos. That's what we wanted, right?
Yeah,
we
alright, so Kaiserreich releases like in-universe descriptions of like the different countries and the positions they start off in.
Mm-hmm.
So we will kind of want to do that, of where it's like,
May-
this is Empire of California.
Actually, I just came up with an idea. Like maybe we can do we can do videos where we're like talking about like just about like how you play a certain country, and some videos like in the lore of those countries. Just an idea to put out there.
I mean, I guess you could do little tutorial sessions on like the different types of countries. Sure.
Arizona's gonna be first, of course.
What is it with you in Arizona? I'm just kidding. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an idea. But yeah, the initial idea was to just kind of cover the lore that other people have written, that we've written for the universe.
And
Yeah.
you should take what's in the mod as like canon A.
Yeah.
That's the most, like, if anything we say contradicts the mod goes first.
Yeah, mod goes first.
Anything the developers actually say goes first. Most of all of our fan fiction writing by the community has more or less been tolerated by Red Heat and the development team.
It's you.
Oh, is it Avatar? Hey, dude, what's up?
Hi.
We're actually recording right now the first video for the YouTube channel.
It's been going on for a long time. I guess this is kind of like a podcast thing.
We're podcasting now.
Just for a little bit. It's just our first video.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Avatar. He's the fourth guy working on the project with us.
This is actually the first time I think I've spoken to Avatar. Hello, Avatar.
What's up? Yeah, what's up, man? You were silent last night. You were muted.
Yeah, last night. Can't believe we were all in the same room.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't come in and said some strong gamer words.
Yeah.
We were all in the same room, and I just sat silently in the corner and watched everyone.
Listen, I'm pretty sure John Darien referenced like removing the entire Hawaiian population of California. So I'm not sure you could probably top that, but we ain't all that off to a strong start.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Hawaiians out there. I'm actually sorry.
Yeah.
Heavy
After the N is a huge Hawaiian fan base.
It actually kind of does.
Yeah. Hawaiian law dictates that they can only download one mod a month, and it's the only one that includes anything Hawaiian. So.
Yeah, everything else is kapu. Yeah, that Hawaiian word I threw out, that's for all 5 Hawaiian kids listening in the next 10 years.
Those 5 Hawaiian kids are like 80% of our fan base.
You know how I'm gonna promote this YouTube channel? I'm just gonna go outside and hand out, the name of this YouTube channel on a piece of paper, like a mixtape. Please check out our YouTube channel.
Just staple it on trees. Just staple it on trees.
Hey, y'all want some post-apocalyptic America? Nah, you do. You just don't know it yet.
Isn't that Fallout? Shut your face.
That sounds vaguely threatening. Somebody.
That's true.
Korean flag came up, just like, would you like some post-apocalyptic America?
Oh, God, this does kind of sound
I like how my brother is watching a video about fire alarms and it's just blaring in the background.
It could be a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, John Darien's brother. He's the unofficial 5th member of this video.
He just kind of shows up in the background.
Screams now and then whenever we do bad.
It's actually not a video his brother's playing. He can actually make those siren noises pretty accurately.
Yeah, it's taken years of training. It's gotten
now we can
I'm pretty
scare
sure I
whole
derailed whatever
places.
actual conversation was supposed to be happening.
Oh no, I was about to
Feel free to go back to it.
No, I was about to tell you, Avatar. Like we've kind of been bumbling our way through this. We
Yeah.
were just kind of getting on. We were finally getting on to the point of the entire video, which is like what we're actually trying to do here.
After an hour of talking, yes.
Nice. And then I came and I further derailed it.
Shit.
What were we even talking about? Probably not. I think it's been like 30 minutes.
I hope not.
It's been a Martian hour.
All right, then we might wanna start.
That's actually it's been 47.
Oh, it's been 47 minutes? Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is kind of a podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast. I don't mind that. We don't have to cut anything out.
Yeah, I know we were initially aiming for 15 minutes, but we've been talking about stuff related to the lore and just kind of joking around. So yeah, there's no problem here.
Yeah, there's no problem here. Everything we're talking about is in the world that we're talking about. Like murdering the whole entire population of Hawaiians in California is in the game.
Yeah, all 5 of them.
I think
Christ,
I've
John.
murdered like 10,000.
By the way, we have nothing against Hawaiians.
No. It's just
Yeah.
they're so cheap though.
Dude. Alright.
Maybe the Hawaiian government is just fine sending
Yeah,
troops.
there's a real controversial book in the Californian kingdoms. It's called The Hawaiian Question.
Oh no. Alright, are we just cutting the last 20 minutes of this?
It's just like its 12 favorite recipes for Hawaiian cooking. That's it. It was just poorly named. It's after the end. They don't know like
They
the recipes they're
don't
making.
know any better.
Like there was one guy who got his arm trapped in a rock and he wrote a book about it called My Struggle. And I mean, like he was a Jewish guy. He's from like New Jersey. He'd be appalled if he knew before the end. I mean, that's not his fault.
That's a really good joke.
It's a really good joke.
You think there's some rando French guy in America who's like, look at my holy relic, and he opens it. I was like, this is a penis. This is Napoleon's penis.
And if I didn't know anything about history, I just think you were making the worst joke.
I was like, I hope this reference makes sense.
But now that I do, it's only halfway to the worst
All my
joke.
school friends will understand.
Alright, so yeah. Kind of trying to drag it back on track here.
I like
Yeah.
to imagine that this guy's actually having like a house fire. He'll have a house fire one day, and he's like, "Who flipped the switch?" It's by the time he like gets out, it's too late.
That's a good
He
metaphor
died
for this.
doing what he loved. Talking about this topic's barely related to after the end.
Yeah. Speaking of which, to drag it back on topic here. So yeah, the sorts of lore videos that we're going to be covering is in-universe explanations of like what's going on. The first video we're going to do is on the current state of affairs in California and the Celestial Emperor and how he's basically a figurehead. Not that effective.
He literally has the trait figurehead. You
Yeah.
can just say
Yeah,
he's bigger.
But this could trigger some Californians.
Yeah.
I don't think the Emperor liked that.
The Emperor sends in the Hawaiian Guard, all 2 of them that are left.
Oh my god. Christ. Alright. How do we keep getting back to Hawaiian Guard?
The Hawaiian Guard is the only interesting thing about the entire area. It changed my mind.
Like it's fired off of Imperial China and Japan. There's plenty of
No one cares about that. Everyone cares. Everyone
Oh, yeah.
pretends
Do you
to care about
remember
that.
what
What
the
we really want to know is why are there Hawaiians here?
Dude, don't you
There's
remember
literally
that time?
no explanation for why they're there other than
Dude, don't you remember when the
Golden Gate
Chinese?
Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge. Where are those ones?
Don't you remember the time in Chinese history where China hired the whole entire population of Japan to fight their wars for them and wiped them out?
But yeah, so we'll our first video will be an overview of the current state of California and
Of the
sort of
The current population's centers of California, and especially about Hawaiians. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop now.
we also have we'll also sort of cover the spiritual and religious beliefs of California after the end,
Yeah,
which
it's
are
just-
its own sort of interesting spiritual development.
Yeah.
Like John Darien mentioned earlier, if you've ever seen the Kaiserreich videos, kind of explaining like the in-universe nations and that sort of thing, it's going to be along that sort of line of where it introduces you to basically where you would start in the game and the background of the start. So the first video is going to be addressing if you decide to start as one of the kings of California, like one of the warlords, or as the emperor himself. So you're going to be, yeah, that's what it's kind of a lore background for that, and it's just to kind of provide the basis for a launching in point that we can talk about other stuff about California or spread to like
Should we do
Portland
this?
or Arizona.
Should we do this like type of podcast stuff in the middle of like creating a new episode?
I kind of want to see how people receive the podcast first.
I mean, if you guys really want, we can restart now that I'm here.
No. No.
Yeah. All right, John Darian, we got to try and do a multiplayer again. That's going to be fun.
It's gonna be so fun. I love you, Paradox.
Do a multiplayer game.
I love you, Paradox.
I could see us doing podcasts if people like Gilzerhorn and or Red Heat want to come on.
I was
talk
thinking,
about the mod.
I was
that sort of
thinking
thing.
just like sometimes we'll just do it randomly, just like for the fun of it. But yeah, we can have like guests.
Yeah, like whenever the fancy strikes us, it's our YouTube channel. Whenever the fancy strikes us, we can do it. It's just
We get like an actual Paradox, like the executor of Paradox in here.
Okay, I think you're pushing it, John. But, all right.
Maybe we'll
Nobody's-
get of a loaf.
Nobody said that the CEO was going to come willingly, just that he'd be there.
All you see on the first Discord tag is like a bag over the head. I swear to God, guys, he's not kidnapped. He just chose that.
Listen, if it sounds like he's got like a couple of sedatives in him, he's just tired. You know, it's early over in Sweden where Paradox is based. He's just tired. That's all.
Look, he has no choice but to come, alright? He is, if you think about it, the real founder of consumerism.
Consumer. What, the CEO of Paradox?
Yeah, without him making this game for a profit, would we even have this mind?
I mean, I always thought it was like Ronald Reagan was like, reborn into a child, and like it's Ronald Reagan's face on a baby.
Yeah, the first profit of consumerism. I've got my religion. It's Reaganomics.
Mr. Paradox, tear down this paywall.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. We're just gonna keep buying DLC.
Yeah, our first guest will be resurrected.
I won't, but you will, and I will play with your DLC.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you want to play a multiplayer game. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So yeah, that's kind of the kit and caboodle. We're approaching an hour. For people who have stuck around this long.
Yeah, you can skip around the 40-minute mark because that's when I come in. It's the most important bit.
Yeah, it really
this is like the
I'll put in a
Waltzworth
timestamp.
constant twice.
That's what I'm gonna put in the description. The 40-minute mark is where it actually is interesting.
Yeah, I'll put in a timestamp. Actually, let's just cut everything before the 40-minute mark.
No, no.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. That'd be so much
I'm
time.
just fucking around. Like,
No, you're not. I know you're. What's fucking around? I don't know what that is.
So to re-summarize, After the End is a post-apocalyptic mod set in the Americas north of the equator for Crusader Kings 2. It takes place in 2666, long after the surviving nation with new governments and society, new religious and cultural groups, and this project will sort of be us exploring from in-universe sources the lore of this new world.
We hit the 50-minute mark.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
And that's a pretty good grab. Thanks, Mr. Moore.
Okay, miss.
So
Okay,
we should
let's.
have the video out on California pretty soon. I would say we already have the script written.
Yeah. Should we all say goodbye?
I mean, I just kind of did mine, so.
Oh, goodbye, scholars. Goodbye.
Sayonara.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully this goes okay.
Thank you, IB League, for listening to us. Thank you.
Aha, yeah.